Hello, this is Bluestar, Defender of Equestria, and this is my Afterthought review of Bloom and Gloom, where, yay, Princess Luna's back, yay! And another dream walking episode, but does this mean there won't be any more? No! I will miss Luna and the dream world, no! Oh dear, anyway, yeah, so... yes, I'm gonna try to not make this about the dream world and all of those things, because, well, I am currently trying to work on a video like that. I'm kind of running out of time on this one, so I'm gonna try to, just get this done. So, this was a pretty interesting episode, but I do have to say that after watching it a few more times, it's definitely not as entertaining or as good as I first thought of it, and it's still a good episode, but I must admit, when I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna go watch this again to do this Afterthought review, it's like, oh, okay. I like what they're doing, but, you know, I have to kind of agree with Brony Curious in that the dream sequence went a little long. It's sort of like, once you realize this is a dream, you're kind of waiting and hoping for the resolution, for the big moment of Luna coming out, and like, oh, it's a dream, and like, yay, Luna's here, and it just kind of, you know, gets kind of tiresome. It's like, you know, are we gonna cut to that now and everything? And it's like, no, we're not. All I'm gonna say is, for everything, there is a time. And it was a really cool moment when Luna does show up. It's like, and she did it in exactly when she needed to and everything. It's like, Apple Bloom, you can't run away from your own shadow. It's like, that was the moment she had to reveal herself and everything. And that was interesting. Again, there was just a lot of interesting things here with the dream. I guess I will get what I think about Luna in this out of the way in this episode, is that Luna was interesting, but I think she's been slightly different. I think the short answer is she's behaving a little bit more like a princess, a little bit more like, in a way, so the way that Celestia operates, in that she just gives a few wise expressions to say and everything, those great one-liners, but she's not really connecting with the Cutie Mark Crusaders and Apple Bloom. It just doesn't feel that she's making that connection that I think she sort of made in the other two episodes. But otherwise, this episode was still pretty good. You know, it definitely set out what it was trying to do. The interesting question is, what is it trying to do? Or maybe the interesting question might be, who is it trying to do it for? Of course, they're dealing with a lot of things that the Bronies have been wondering and everything about. What will happen when the Cutie Mark Crusaders actually get their cutie marks? What if, you know, one gets it and the other two don't and everything? What's all that going to mean for them and everything? Parts of me want to say that, yes, that they are kind of addressing those things to the Brodies per se, but, you know, it was also very appropriate, though, to bring this up for the characters, for them to all of a sudden come to the realization and start asking these questions of, what if I actually got my cutie mark? I mean, so I sort of think that, yeah, the Bronies might have been the source of these ideas, but at the same time, maybe not, so that was an interesting thing in itself. And I kind of disagree with Kim on this, and that Kim is sort of suggesting, well, they're sort of trying out what if what will happen when the Cutie Mark Crusaders actually get their cutie marks. I don't think so. I don't think that was the point of this episode. I think the point of all this was to answer those questions and have a pretty important lesson in itself and everything. And I do like what this is trying to say. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things in this episode, but they made this episode really hard and difficult. It was kind of fun. I mean, there were a lot of fun things. It's like, oh, and no, I didn't see a lot of these references the first time, like when the bard gets zapped again. No. But anyway, it's like I never Independence Day. I never would have thought of that, to be honest. But that totally fits, and there was a lot of other references to other things, and those were kind of fun and entertaining. And there were some fun things, and I did like the pest pony, especially his line. It's like, you know, you're gonna have to stop repeating everything I say if you want to learn, and pay attention if you want to learn something. I love that line. That's a great line. There's also a couple of good sub-lessons with that as well, is that, yeah, being a pest pony isn't, you know, the coolest or the most awesome job ever, but it's an important job nonetheless, and not to mention that just because you've got the tools doesn't mean that you've got the talent in order to use them and everything. It takes more than the tools to be successful. I kind of liked those sub-lessons. I mean, I do feel this episode did drag on a little bit too long. That maybe it would have been better for them to have had these dream sequences be a little bit shorter or something. And yeah, I mean, most people probably realized early on this is a dream and everything. So at that point, we're waiting for the big reveal. And at that point, it's just sort of, oh dear. It's like you're just waiting for that to happen. And the other is that Starlight Glimmer was not in this episode, but I'm sure that's what everybody was thinking with the shadowy figure. Interesting question is, was that what they wanted us to think, or is that just happened to work out that way? I kind of think that they sort of did want us to think that, because it does kind of fit, and it does have the possibility of this not being a dream. Is that, what if this isn't a dream? What if this is her messing with her, or maybe she's responsible, or if this is a dream, maybe she's responsible for messing with her or something like that. Interesting notion. But yes, it's explicitly stated at the end that no, this is not Starlight Glimmer. This was Apple Bloom the whole time. That was explicitly stated at the end and everything. So it's not Starlight Glimmer. It's just that simple. In a way, I'm glad it wasn't Starlight Glimmer, because that would be a pretty disturbing thing, to be honest. It's like she can go into Pony's dreams and, oh dear, mess with them. That would bite. Almost on a similar note, is like, why do they keep letting, Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara on the farm? It's like, my gosh, these are the school bullies. Everyone knows it. I wouldn't let the school bullies on my property. It's like, this is my home. Get lost. Yeah, in a way, it was an important moment, because, yeah, I mean, this is what made this episode so interesting. This is Apple Bloom going through, like, every scenario of being afraid of all of these things and showing, it's like, what if people, hate me and stuff now? Oh, that would be terrible. And all the problems this episode might have, yeah, they go away. Because, yeah, this is Apple Bloom's dream and everything. This is how she's viewing the world, and how she's and what she's afraid of. She's afraid of getting stuck with a lame cutie bark in that situation and having them beat on her about it. She's afraid of getting a cutie mark and, basically being abandoned by her friends, if you will, and all of those scenarios. And it was interesting to see each one of those scenarios being played out and how she thinks and feels about them and everything. And that was interesting. Yeah, but again, it made this all really long. It made it kind of slow. It made it kind of like, okay, I like this, but it'd be nice if we could pick it up a little bit more. But it was really good. I do like this episode. I certainly like what this episode was trying to do. It may be a hard episode, but that's because it's dealing with a very hard, difficult topics. But I like these topics. I identify with these topics. And I understand Dream very well and what it can teach us. And I'm glad that to see that they are showing, everyone, not just little children, but everyone, in a way, how Dream can teach us things and, how to deal with fear and anxiety. And we got a My Little Pony lullaby from Applejack. Oh, that was so touching. I liked that. That was nice and everything. And oh dear, I'm jumping around topics again, but oh, sorry about that. But I liked that. It was sort of like the one last thing I wanted to comment on this episode was that I liked that. And, I also liked how the song flowed with the story and everything. It didn't just, come out of nowhere. It flowed with what was going on. It kind of reminds me of how the songs in Fraggle Rock work, and how I think the daughter of one of the songwriters or the writers of the show described her child one day after watching Fraggle Rock. It's like she started singing. It's like, where is my shoe? Where has it gone? Because that's just the way that the songs in the show work, is that, it's like, they'll just start singing about something, the thing that they're thinking or they're worried about or whatever at the time. And that's the way that song worked. It's like, it's like, it's gonna be okay, Apple Bloom and everything. That moment was cool, and I liked the way that flowed and everything. That was nice. And that's just so touching. A My Little Pony lullaby. Oh, that's just so nice. And I liked it. And again, and it worked really well, and it was nice. It was short, simple, and to the point and everything, and I like it. So overall, this episode was kind of slow, but it had some really good morals and some really good stuff in it. And of course, we got to see Princess Luna again. Yay! Any excuse to see Princess Luna. But again, the short answer here is, again, she's not just simply here, she's here as a mentor. And I think she did a good job as a mentor here. She may not have connected as well as she had in previous episodes, but she's still a really good mentor, and I'm glad to see her again and everything, and that's cool. But overall, this episode was still good. There were some enjoyable things. It's a kind of a hard episode, but there are still some fun, interesting things here, and we certainly learned a lot, and it was just a really good episode. And I hope there will be more Dream Walking episodes in the future. I just love the dream world. It's awesome. And being able to see Princess Luna again was even more awesome, so yo-ho. So that is the end of my Afterthoughts review of Bloom and Gloom. This is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.